Aviation here, Vic Syracuse. Just trying to do this myself here with a handheld selfie. But I've had a number of questions lately about importing Canadian airplanes and what do we do to get those completed here in the US. So we had one in here yesterday and just thought I'd share with you the process that you have to go through to get that done. So first off, obviously somebody has to fly it from Canada down here to the US, and I think there's some qualifications on Canadian airplanes and who can fly them, etc. Some of it might just be insurance requirements, but anyway, get the airplane to the US, and then I would highly recommend pre-buy inspection. Here's one that came in yesterday. We'll leave the C number off the video, but suffice it to say we found 2 cylinders below 60 worn, one at 52, 54, one at 57. So we've got to do some further investigation there to see what's going on. This is also one of the things you want to pay attention to. Hey, are they set up, the proper lighting requirements? In this case, we found it did not have a tail strobe light. So anyway, make the buyer aware of that. But past that, once a deal, is made between the two and the aircraft is going to stay in the U.S., what needs to happen is the owner needs to go back to Canada and deregister it in Canada. Now that can take 7 to 10 days to do that. Once that happens, then you re-register it in the U.S. So you apply for an N number, typical application for registration process. Make sure you get a bill of sale. By the way, you want to make certain you get all the builder documentation. Typically, Canadian airplanes will have a journey log, which will show everything from day one. But make sure you get enough documentation to show the FSDO or the DAR that the aircraft has been built by an amateur, because you're going to have to prove that during the certification process. So then, once you get your N number reserved, or registered, I should say, it's a matter of applying for an airworthiness certificate. Basically, you can do that through the AWC, or the Airworthiness Center on the FAA website. Everything's electronic these days. Work with the DAR or talk to the local FSDO. And once that's all filled out by the owner, it will get assigned to either a FSDO or a DAR. An airworthiness inspection will happen, and new operating limitations will get issued. So you want to make certain some things that are a little bit different. There's a passenger warning placard. The verbiage is a little bit different here in the US, so that will have to be changed on the panel. The experimental placard obviously needs to be somewhere at the entrance to the cockpit, visible to everybody. In this case, an RV7, you can put it on the rear bulkhead. That's visible. That works. And then typically, for new aircraft in the US that are licensed, it's usually a 40-hour test program, 25 if there's a certified propeller engine combination, which we don't see too many of anymore. And then past that, you can also use the EAA task-based program, which allows you to get completed in less than 40 hours, and you end up with a POH at the back end of that, which is really cool. For Canadian airplanes, as a DAR, I'll look at them, and if I can tell that the phase 1 test program was actually thoroughly completed, there's enough documentation for that. Typically, it's a 5-hour test program, sometimes 0 if we're certainly very comfortable with the airplane, so then it can get moved to its new home in the US. Okay, so it's not that hard to import. A couple of steps, summarize, bring it to the US, get a pre-buy done, all right? And then deregister it in Canada, register it in the US, apply for airworthiness, get it inspected, and you'll be on your way. All right, take care. Bye-bye.